Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the instant match reaction. Crystal Palace 2, Everton 2. That's the end of Europe, isn't it? Any hopes of Europe, that's the end of it. I'll be honest, I'm don't know if I've ever been angrier with a game all season. Certainly maybe an away game coming on straight afterwards. I thought that was absolutely pathetic, like properly pathetic, like for what it meant to us and what it meant to them, and the games between the distance between the games and everything. I thought that was absolutely pathetic, and I honestly feel like properly hulking out on that performance because it was so horrendous, so bad. It was so bad. I mean, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be all hyperboy about it, but I just don't know how you can. I don't know how you can play like that. And listen, yeah, maybe that says everything about where we are. Maybe that says everything about where we are, and we obviously don't deserve Europe, because if we deserved it, we'd be getting it, obviously. But we don't deserve it for the last 4 weeks. Ever since the Chelsea game, we've been absolutely garbage. 3 draws and 2 defeats in the final month of the season, or the final run into the season, is pathetic. It's pathetic when you think about it, isn't it? This is when the real teams stand up, isn't it? Look at like Bournemouth, 16 unbeaten, going down to 10 men yesterday. Not panicking, obviously, the opposition go down to 10 men and then winning the game. Brighton, what they've done in the last few weeks. That's what you need to do. It's about staying true to the course, isn't it? At the end of the game, we've absolutely royally cocked this up, is the best way I can say it. When we beat Chelsea, it was there for us. It was there for us on a platter, really. And we have absolutely ballsed it up. And the players and the manager have only got themselves to look at. The running wasn't that difficult, really. It wasn't that difficult. A Crystal Palace team who've just played 3 days earlier and got to a European Cup final, they shouldn't be given any kind of incentive today. They shouldn't have been in a position where they were the team looking to win the game at the end. That to me is unforgivable. West Ham, pathetic the way we approached that game. The derby, the way it played out and going for a draw. Brentford, okay, I'd look at Brentford and go, that might have been a decent point on the day, but today was just woeful to me. And listen, you get loads of people who will say, "Oh, if people like me say this, oh, you're over the top. We were fucking garbage today." And this is what the reason why we're not getting Europe is, because of performances like today and the last month. It's pathetic, and it's pathetic from the players, and it's pathetic from Moyes as well. Listen, I love David Moyes, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Today, his choice of players, Michael Keane shouldn't be anywhere near that team. Brien should be playing centre back. It's as simple as that. For both goals, Jesus Christ, for both goals, Toffee and Michael Keane are pathetic, absolutely pathetic. That whole back four needs ripping up now. Michalenko should never play left back again after this season as a starter. Brien should never play as a right back, and Michael Keane should never ever be considered a starter for Everton Football Club. And Toffee's coming to the end as well. The one at the end where Toffee gets done by Mateta. They're all done. They're done. It's time to pack it in. But listen, not just going to look at them. KDH was absolutely woeful today. He should have put us comfortably 2-0 up. He should have slotted in for 2-0. And that should have been it. Should have been done and dusted at that point. Njai was absolutely garbage. Now, okay, in the last few weeks, people have said it to me that he's like coasting and stuff, and I've made excuses for him. I'm not making any excuses for him today. He was crap. And at the end, he had the brilliant chance to make it 3-2. Just a little bit of composure, and he smacks it over the bar. Yet the goalie gets a touch. It was going over anyway. The midfield is a little bit, it's disjointed. But even like this approach to the game, Moyes' approach to the game, it's so cautious, and I know this is why people don't like him. It's so cautious. But going to Crystal Palace, we need to win. We need to win the game. They don't need to win it. They're on the beach. They've got a cup final in 3 weeks. They're not asked. They're not going to be relegated. They're not going to get higher up. They're not asked. Last week against Bournemouth, they showed that. Whose need is more, and it was ours. Our need was more, and we just strolled around the pitch. We go 1-0 up early on, and we stopped playing the minute we scored. We stopped playing, and we went to, you have the ball now, break us down. And that is the mentality of this team, and it has to move on. Now, loads of people believe that the only way to move it on is by David Moyes moving on. Now, that would have to only be for a couple of people, and I know a lot of people are hot on Iriola. Listen, if Palace have got a chance to get an Iriola, then we've got a chance of getting Iriola. Well, fair enough. If Everton want to go down that path, then so be it. So be it. But it's on the players, and it is on the manager. There's no intensity. But also, we go 1-0 up, and we should be driving for a second. We should be controlling the game. And when we went 2-1 up, and by the way, Beto's done brilliantly for the second goal. It's an absolutely brilliant goal from him. When we go 2-1 up, we get hold of the game, and we do slow it down, but we don't pick our moments. We don't take our moments. There's opportunities, and then the goal we concede, the second goal, Jesus Christ, it's a ball down the left. All right, the lads put a ball in. There's a lad standing, and all he does is he just pulls off the two centre-backs who do what they always do, which is retreat to the back, they do this thing where they retreat to the goal line instead of engaging the centre-forward. And it's unacceptable for me. Absolutely unacceptable. A performance like that is just unacceptable for me. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I know loads of people go, it was a good draw. We got a point out of it. I don't know if anyone will be talking like that, but we were absolutely crap. That to me is genuinely the most disappointing performance of the season, because everything was there for us to go and win it. And that's where Everton typically shit themselves, and I've always shit themselves in my lifetime, is when there's an opportunity. And it was there at West Ham. We done the same at West Ham. It's there to go and win. And yes, the pressure's on us, but rise to the pressure. All that says to me is there's too many players in this team who are just not, don't talk to me about whether they're good enough footballers. They haven't got it mentally. They haven't got the killer instinct. They haven't got what it takes. They haven't got what it takes to go and win when it needs winning. And that's what I go back to before about the final running of the season, when the real people stand up, the real players, the people who really want it more. And that's where I look at a Bournemouth and an Iriola and I go, they deserve it. They absolutely deserve Europe, because you know what? They didn't coast in the beginning of the season or get to a points tally. What they did is, when it actually mattered, when the business end of the season mattered, Bournemouth have stood up, and all their players have stood up, and their managers stood up, and they've gone through, and they've lifted themselves up. And 16 unbeaten at this stage of the season is when you do it. It's not at the beginning of the season or whatever. It's now. This is when you do it. This is when you have to dig in and get those wins. And we haven't. We've fallen to bits in the last 4 weeks when it really mattered, when mentally it was really mattered. And all those players and the manager, they have to look at themselves. They have to look at themselves. We've not won a game of football since March. And this is when you're supposed to do it. This is when it matters. Doesn't matter whether you win in the league. Doesn't matter whether you're going for Europe. Doesn't matter whether you're going for relegation. This is where you've got to stand up. This is where, like, whoever stays up at the bottom of the league, they'll win the games in April and May, like we have done, ironically enough, in the last few seasons. And when it really mattered, no point last season winning the last 3 games when it doesn't actually mean anything. It just looked nice and it made us all feel good. This is the point. This is the difference. And these players have shown, for me, their true colours when it really mattered. And yeah, we have got injuries and we are missing. Adesina Gay is a massive miss, by the way. A massive. I don't think people realise how big a miss is. Listen, Iraburum is brilliant at winning the ball. The problem is, in distribution, he gives it away too easily. That leaves James Garner with a lot to do, and he ends up getting a booking today. And as I said, I thought Kieran Dewsbury-Hall was terrible today. I thought he was truly terrible. And him hitting the post, I know it was offside, doesn't matter. Him hitting the post, he should have comfortably made it 2-0. And him and Njai were abysmal, absolutely abysmal today. And they're supposed to be the players who are supposed to stand up. So, listen, it doesn't matter whether. It doesn't. By the way, this is not an overreaction. And, you know, if you look at the bigger picture, you can say, well, Everton are doing better than last year. We are doing better than last year. We've got a point more and there's 2 games to go. That's fair enough. But I'm so disappointed with players when there was an opportunity to take us forward. Someone in the comments just said Garner just passes backwards. But he passes, mate. 95% pass accuracy, most games. Keeps the ball. If you don't realise how good Adesina Gay is for the team, then you don't know anything about football, in my opinion. So I'm massively frustrated with today, and it's done now. It's done. Means nothing. We'll probably beat Sunderland next week nice and convincingly. Why? Because there's nothing to play for both teams. Nothing to play for. And it's just the last month. It's not just today. It's not last week. It's the whole of the last month when they needed to show something, they haven't. And you know, now we have to go and get some new players. We have to go and get a whole new back four, as far as I'm concerned. A whole new back four. Yeah, okay. If you think Tim Irabuna's better than Adesina Gay, then I think you might need to rethink watching football. I'm afraid. So yeah, I'm massively disappointed with that, as you can tell. Massively disappointed. And yeah, we've thrown it away. We've thrown the opportunity away. And good luck to Bournemouth and Brighton. And listen, it's not. Bournemouth and Brighton have been building for the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons. So it's not just a thing. It's not just a thing. It's. But when the big players, and by the way, I'm not being harsh on Dewsbury-Hall, and I'm not being harsh certainly on Ilham and Jai. Ilham and Jai has not been good for weeks. Look how many chances he missed on Monday night. But big players are supposed to turn up for you. Big players are supposed to turn up for you when it matters. That's all I'm saying. And he didn't. Yeah. All right, let's see if Tim Irabuna's playing for Paris Saint-Germain with Messi. Plays like Messi in 5 years' time. Not saying Tim Irabuна isn't a good player. He's not Adesina Gay. So. But fair play to the Bournemouth and the Brighton of the world who've been building. Everton haven't been building. So, and this is the first year, but as we had the boss opportunity, we had a brilliant opportunity. You can't always look back and go, yeah, but we had a brilliant opportunity after the Chelsea game. After the Chelsea game, if you told anyone that we were only going to pick up 3 points between that game and, you know, the end of the Crystal Palace game, you'd be massively disappointed, wouldn't you? Massively disappointed. So I'm sorry, I'm just reading your comments on Idrissa Gana Gueye, and I think some of you might need to rethink football, because if you don't understand that Idrissa Gana Gueye is a huge cog in Everton's wheel, then I don't know what I can do for you. I don't know what I can do for you. He is a massively important player. Yeah. So yeah, hugely disappointed. And now we have to just play out the season, don't we? We just have to play out the season with the 2 games. And hopefully we can get a win between now and the end of the season. Otherwise, it's been an absolutely horrendous end of the season. And it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that, if anything comes out of it. But yeah, people in the comments who are backing Idrissa, you just know the score. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens at the last 2 games of the season. But a lot of today obviously has to be put on the manager. But the players, as I said, some of the players out there, some of our big players have been absolutely garbage. So it'll obviously get the discussion going again about David Moyes. We'll see what the owners think about that. We will finish the season, I think, where we all thought we would finish the season at the beginning of the season, or where we'd be happy. But I still don't think, as I said, with that month to go, when we had a month to go, I still don't think it's good enough. I think some of you need to go back to your spreadsheets, because you're hilarious. It's like some of you have never watched football before in your lives. Yeah, there you go. But I tell you what, Tariq George done well when he came on again. And he should be starting games. He should be starting games. So let's see if he starts next week. I'd have had him starting today, personally. I'd have had him starting today, because I would have had Mail and Roller midfield, and I would have had James Garnett right back. I know Brien playing centre back. The fact that Idrissa Gana Gueye played for Paris Saint-Germain at all means he's a fantastic footballer. Oh my God. Some people. Oh, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. There you go. Right. I'm going to go and do my player ratings. If you stick with this video, it'll take you straight to my player ratings. So stick around. I'm just going to swap over me stuff, and I'll be right back to do my player ratings. Thanks for watching. See you in a minute.